Excited to start the season. Guys have been working really hard for several months now. I don't think we're playing as well as I would like, but some of that's probably because we've had to battle some injuries and are a little low in numbers. But that's part of basketball. It's a long season. You're going to have ups and downs, but I think our guys are excited to get started. We've learned some things about our team here the last couple games that have been good for us, and now it comes real quick. We've got 2 games this week and another one right after that following Wednesday. So now you got to really try to make hay during an important time, and I think our guys are primed and ready, and we've been practicing well. I think our senior guards are playing very well in a lot of areas. And excited to see what some of our young players do in their first action of the season. Questions?
Could you mention the injuries and any change with Eli or Malik?
No, not Malik is still not practicing. Eli we'll see if he can go. He did a little bit of light shooting this morning, and so today will be his first practice in a while. If he can do it, we'll just have to wait and see. I don't know where that's going to be after today's practice. We'll know a little more.
Some of the judgment on Eli with the pace of Citadel plays, and they kind of more up and
yeah.
Will that kind of maybe back?
I don't think so. I think it'll just be if the doctors say he can go and he feels like he can help us, then we'll see how it goes. But there could be a chance that he tries and it doesn't work out too. So at this point I just don't know what to tell you other than it's probably just going to be a game time decision.
As far as what he's done on offense early, is that something you feel like can transfer into the regular season?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. He's been practicing very well. David's been shooting the ball really well from the perimeter. I think he's playing with more confidence than last year. Some of it is just, I think the end of last season he started playing better, late in the tournament and in all those areas, and now he's just grown more confident from that. And, I just think it's always difficult to join a team in the middle of a season when rotations are kind of set and, roles are defined in a lot of ways and you're trying to figure it out. And the easiest way to figure it out, and he was smart enough to realize the best way to figure it out on last year's team for us, was to come in and defend and rebound. And that was his niche. That's what we needed him to do. And he did that. But now his development as a player, his growth, lends itself to him now being more of a focal point on offense. And so he certainly is a guy that is capable of making 3 threes in a game like he did the other day. And I'm excited to watch him play this year.
What specifically would you like to clean up?
Defensively, we just haven't been where we need to be. Our communication has been poor. I think a little bit. There are times when our older players forget that we've got a couple young guys out there, and there's a few switches that we're taking a little for granted. We're supposed to talk and touch when we switch, and we're not really doing that. And so we've had some miscommunication, and it's resulted in layups for opponents. And that's one for sure. And that's a big one. And it's been consistent for 2 games, so it's not a one-time thing. Now we've done better in the second half of both games of kind of correcting that, but for whatever reason we started both games with very poor communication and some defensive discipline.
Coach, you talked about a couple of your new guys, Newman and Tyson, the other night. Jaden White didn't play a whole lot of minutes. What have you seen from him so far? Well,
certain games are just harder for guys than others, and I think that was kind of a game that was hard for him. He's a good athlete, finishes well around the rim, can block a few shots. Still learning kind of how we do things. I think we're probably a lot different than how they played at Oral Roberts, and so because of that, it's probably hasn't come quite as easy as all of us would have liked. But when he just reacts and plays and isn't kind of caught thinking too much, he can do some nice things. He rebounds the ball well, and he's an athletic finisher around the rim.
You got a chance to win your 150th game in your time here at Clemson. What would that achievement mean to you after all the ups and downs of your career?
Well, certainly I'm, just happy that I've been at Clemson as long as I have. Hope to be here a long time. It's, it's been a journey, a process, and that's the way it is in a lot of programs at this level. It's, there's a lot of us that are, we're fighting the good fight for a good while to try to get over the hump, and be a consistently, really good program. And so I'm, I don't really worry about games and wins and all that, but just, I am proud of the fact that, whatever, I'm starting my 9th season here, and we've had a couple of really good teams, and the program is in a good place, from facilities to, graduating players, all the things that you want to be proud of as a head coach.
Brad, you've done a lot since you've been here as far as winning basketball games, but you've seen the facilities grow up around you and the fan base starting to come back into the Little John, and expecting a lot after last year. What do you tell the fans this year, expectation-wise, as they go into the season?
I don't need to tell our fans too much. They're going to think whatever they want to think. I'm excited that that they're hopefully getting behind our team again, and come quickly. We need you. I think sometimes we wait a little bit until the end of football, and that's pretty long usually, especially here recently. So we need them before that, and it has a major impact on our players in terms of just how they feel about being a Clemson basketball player, and how much they're appreciated and supported and recognized, and I think those things matter. So hopefully we're going to give them a product that they enjoy watching. I think our guys compete very hard. I know they work really hard every day, both in practice, in the weight room, on their own, in their games. I know they're the types of young men that people can be proud of. I think we have the kind of program that Clemson fans are proud of and should be proud of, and there's some other places with things going on right now that aren't real proud of what's going on. So hopefully all that means that people want to get behind these guys and support them, and we're just excited to play in front of our fans again this year. Playing last year was fantastic.
Just one home loss last year, best home record ever here. How much does having that home court advantage mean in the ACC? Yeah,
it's huge in every game. It wasn't a real difficult atmosphere the other night for Barton, and we didn't play very well. We didn't feed off a crowd. I thought the crowd that was here was trying to help us and trying to be good, but a bigger fan base, more people in the building certainly electrifies the atmosphere, makes it more difficult for the opponent, and certainly generates enthusiasm and energy for your team. And I think Dabo would tell you that with Death Valley. And so, I always say I think it's important for our fans to get behind us if they want us to be successful. It's a big piece. There's no question that us going 15-1 last year, a big part of that was we had sold-out crowds for almost every ACC game, and that energy really helps fuel a team, especially during a long season.
With the success you had last season, do you feel like this year is sort of a turning point in showing that what you have here is sustainable?
I guess. I mean, I'm sure I'm supposed to say yes to that, and that's what we're trying to do. Every team is different, and like we're not anywhere where I thought we would be right now because of injuries. I'm not gonna lie, it's been a little frustrating this fall. We haven't had enough, quality guys in practice to compete against one another and to get better. And I know we have a lot of good players back, but what we did last year, like, that's over. Like, we're a new team, and if you've watched us twice, we don't look like the number 22 team in the country. We're not playing that good, and you don't. Those rankings are just, they're superficial. They don't really matter, and obviously they didn't matter last year either. So we got to go about getting better. We got to go about getting to work. We got to improve. We got to figure ourselves out, but. As much as anything, we've got to get ourselves healthy so we can practice and kind of figure out exactly what kind of team we have.
Coach, how disappointing was losing AJ, and you feel like you're in a pretty good place depth-wise with the guards you got?
Well, it was a little disappointing, but it's the nature of college athletics these days. These kids, they practice really hard. They put in a lot of hours. Not just at practice, but in the summer when we have them for 8 weeks, in the fall when we're doing sprints and we're doing strength training stuff and team building activities. And I get it. Everybody wants to play a lot. And, you know, certain times you can't play everybody the amount of minutes they want to play. And so guys are going to make decisions. And they got to do what they think's in their best interest. Is it disappointing? Yeah, it's disappointing. You don't like to see guys that you care about, you know, go somewhere else. But if you think that's what they really want to do, and that's where they can achieve their dream, or that's where, you know, a program out there fits their needs a little bit better than what they feel like's happening here, you understand it. It is a little more challenging now. I do think, you know, again, there's a lot of we've kind of gone a couple different places with waivers, and it's all of a sudden there's now a situation where we're getting a lot of waivers granted for people to become eligible without having to sit out all the time. And, you know, there's talk of we're going to have immediate transfer eligibility, and the free agent market's going to be there. And so managing your roster is probably never been more challenging. And, you know, no, we don't have the kind of depth that we'd like. We got guys sitting out. We got a guy out with a concussion. We got another guy out with a knee injury. And we got a guy out with another hurt ankle. We have 9 scholarship players that are really playing, and a couple injuries, a couple fouls, and pretty soon you don't have enough guys out there. And so that part is hard, and you can't practice now sometimes the way you want to practice because you don't have the depth to practice as hard as you'd like to practice. So there's a lot of little things that go into, you know, winning. Being healthy is one of them. Being a little lucky is another, and sometimes those two things go together. So it's a tough break for us a little bit.
How high of an expectation do you have of John Newman making an immediate significant contribution?
I think he's going to be a good player for us, and I think he's going to impact us a good deal. He's going to have an opportunity to be out there and, you know, play significant minutes. And, you know, he brings an athleticism and a competitive spirit on the defensive end that is good for this team. And he's a better, probably offensive player than you know, we realized even. And he just needs a little bit of confidence and, you know, relax and enjoy it and go make a couple plays, and he's going to be a good player.
Any more questions?
All good?
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.